In this video, I'm going to give you the exact framework for one of my highest probability setups, including the specific order flow confirmations and entry triggers I look for every single time I pull the trigger. This is the mean reversion setup, and it's one of my favorite trades in a balanced market condition. And when all four filters line up, it's one of the cleanest risk to reward opportunities that you'll find in futures trading. If you're just finding this video, welcome. This is episode 5 of Start Trading with Order Flow series. I'd recommend starting from episode 1, and I'll link the full playlist below. Each episode builds on the last one, and this one is going to make a lot more sense if you start from the foundation. But if you want to jump straight in, let's get into it. In the last episode, I introduced the 4-filter framework: context, location, confirmations, and entry signal. We focused heavily on the first 2 filters, how to read the market context and identify quality locations. In this episode, we're going to focus on the second half, the confirmations and entry trigger, the 2 filters that tell you exactly when to act. And I'm going to show you all 4 filters applied to a real trade that I took on NQ futures that returned over $2,300. But before that specific trade recap, I'm going to walk you through the mean reversion setup from a conceptual level first, because understanding the framework behind the trade is what makes the recap actually useful. Otherwise, it's just a highlight reel. Let's get into it. All right, so now let's talk about the framework for one of my favorite trade setups on ES and NQ futures. This is the mean reversion setup. I call it fade the extreme. So first of all, here are the 4 filters that I look for on this trade setup. First, the context. I look for a balanced market. 2, location. The value area high, the value area low, along with a prior high, prior low, other things like low volume nodes, high volume nodes, and other key areas that we talked about in the previous episode. 3, confirmation is typically large absorption, where I see large resting orders on the bid or the ask that get filled. 4, entry is when I see aggressive orders, bids or offers reload, exhaustion on the order flow, and I see the delta flip. We'll talk about all of these as we go. So first of all, in a balanced market, we often see a bell curve volume distribution. And in this volume distribution, the market is balanced and moving up and down between established highs and lows within that range. We often see the point of control near the middle, where the most volume is transacted around a high volume node, and the value area high and the value area low that act as kind of dynamic support and resistance areas, because the market fails to transact much volume outside of this. It fails to accept price outside of this. And often what happens is if sellers stick their neck out too far at the low, get absorbed, and the market quickly mean reverts back towards the middle. Same thing at the high. If buyers try aggressively to break out, get absorbed, and fail, price quickly drops towards the low or back towards the middle of the range. Now, sometimes you can target the complete opposite extreme of the range, but what I've found is most high probability is just catching this move to the middle of the range where there's a key level, a high volume node, etc. So this is a very high probability move. And then sometimes if we break through that aggressively, we may trail our risk and move towards the other extreme of the range. But the first important thing is to identify the market context where it is balanced, where price is moving in a range over a full session, a full day, or even a multi-day period. We look to see a bell curve volume distribution with volume tails at the highs and at the lows that show a lack of participation outside that range, and we look for large areas of absorption at the extremes. Typically, those extremes align with prior highs and prior lows on like a 15 or 30-minute intraday chart, as well as the value area high, value area low, and maybe some other key level of support or resistance just above or just below that balance range. Now, like I talked about, the first confirmation that I look for is typically absorption. So if I'm looking at a heat map, I will look for large resting bids or offers above or below that range. And I look to see if price moves into those, do they fill and do they absorb all the aggressive participants that attempted to move price outside of that balance range? So that is the first confirmation that shows me big participants are stepping in and absorbing the move and forcing price to retrace back inside the range because there was not enough aggression to move price outside of this balance. resistance. Now, in terms of entry signals, this is the moment that I see the aggression get absorbed and start to flip the opposite direction. So what I first look for is a surge of negative delta or positive delta if it's at the high of aggressive sellers trying to break down that low, get absorbed by large passive participants that are placing limit orders, absorbing all the aggression. That is the first confirmation. Then I look to see aggressive orders stepping in quickly and easily sweeping the tape higher. I want to see this ideally shift a small structure on the chart, and those aggressive participants get rewarded with quick price movement higher, trapping those aggressive sellers at the low. Then when we start to see price pull back, I want to see exhaustion, which means smaller delta from those aggressive participants on a pullback. And an ideal scenario would be we see more passive bids absorbing that pullback. That shows us, one, there are big passive buyers absorbing that failed breakdown. Two, aggressive buyers stepping in, moving price back into the range. Three, on a pullback attempt, there was weaker delta from sellers attempting to break that down. Four, there was passive bids stepping in, again, reloading and continuing to absorb those aggressive sellers trying to break down that low. And then also we will see the delta flip. So if I'm looking at delta bars at the bottom of my chart that show the delta over each price range, I will see a surge of negative delta as price attempts to break down that low, followed by a flip of lack of continuation of that negative delta at a low and a surge of positive delta as price reverses back higher. Then we will see another subsequent pullback with less negative delta on showing a weaker pullback on the subsequent attempt to break down that low. All of this is true in reverse if you're fading the highs of an extreme for a short setup targeting the mean reversion. Once that full trap is in place, we typically see a large and quick aggressive move back into the balance range. And I typically look to take profit, at least a first partial profit inside the middle of that range near a high volume node or a key area of resistance around the point of control. Now, today was a great example on May 26, 2026 on the S&P 500 futures ES, where we had a balanced day and this exact setup played. So let's take a look at the volume profile today on ES, the S&P 500 futures. First of all, we see a balanced distribution of volume occurring where the price has moved up and down inside this range. We see the value area high near the highs of that range, the value area low near the lows of that range, and the point of control near the middle of that range where the most amount of volume was transacted. Now, around 11:45, we see this attempt to break down that range, and these aggressive sellers got absorbed, and we can see price quickly and aggressively moved back into the middle of that range. And then on subsequent attempts, it also again absorbed aggressive sellers and moved aggressively back inside the middle of that range. Now, also earlier, when aggressive buyers had stepped in to break out of the top of that range, we can see how multiple times price reverted back to the middle of this range, again, where we have a balance range forming. Buyers and sellers agree on this price. This point of control in the middle of this range is acting like a magnet that draws price back to it when one side fails to break out of the extreme. Now let's take a look at this move around 11:45 when price attempted to break the bottom of that range and reversed aggressively back into the middle of that range. Let's take a look at that exact time frame on a footprint chart to see exactly what I just explained. So at the lows, that value area low was at 75.25. So at this low was the value area low. We see here on the cumulative delta bars of these tick ranges, the surge and negative delta as aggressive sellers attempted to break down that low. Then we see the delta flip as aggressive buying comes in and quickly reverses price higher. Then on the pullback, we see much less negative delta from those aggressive sellers pulling price back. This is the ideal entry zone with a stop just under the low that was formed, targeting a reversion back into the middle of that range around a high volume node. Now let's take a look at exactly what that same move looked like on the heat map on Bookmap. So on the break of that value area low, we see a surge of negative delta, and look at all the bids stepping in and absorbing price on that drop. All of these bids absorbed all of that surge in negative delta at 11.55. We see price spike back into the range, and on the subsequent pullback, look how little aggressive selling there is. And look at this. We see a passive buyer step back in and absorb those sellers a second time. When I see that, that's the ideal entry with a stop under that low that formed, targeting a reversion back into the point of control or the middle of that range. So now you understand the framework for the context, location, confirmation, and entry signals for this trade setup. Let's move on. That's the mean reversion setup from a conceptual level. Context tells you the market is balanced and the mean reversion is in play. Location gives you the specific level worth watching. Confirmation tells you significant participants are defending that level, and the entry trigger tells you the exact moment the immediate trend has shifted. Now let me show you what that looked like on a real trade example. Now let's take a look at a recap of an actual trade that I took on NQ futures on May 21st, 2026 to give you this exact framework in action on a live trade. So I took this trade, which I'll roll in a screenshot from TradeZella here, at 11:10 a.m. Eastern on NQ futures. So looking at, first of all, the context going into this trading day, we had a bell curve volume distribution occurring here as we started out the trading morning. After the market opened at 9:30, we see an attempt from sellers to break down that value area low there at the low of that range. This is where I was looking to take the market long and target a bounce back into the middle of the range around this high volume node where the market was balanced. Now let's take a look at exactly what this looked like on the footprint chart when I took this trade at 11:10 a.m. Eastern on NQ futures. So when price attempted to break down under that value area low, we saw a surge of negative delta of aggressive sellers, which we see here in this cumulative delta bars, and price did not move any lower. We see a surge of aggressive buying immediately come back in, and then on subsequent pullbacks here, we see almost no selling. As soon as I see that, I take the market long here at 29,146, put a stop just under 29,140, which was the low that formed there, targeting a bounce back into the middle of that range around 29,200. This is very asymmetric risk versus reward, even in a balanced choppy market. Now let's take a look at exactly what this looked like on the heat map with Bookmap. Now zooming into Bookmap on the heat map to see exactly what I saw for the entry of this trade, we see the surge of negative delta of aggressive sellers trying to break down that value area low just at 11:10 a.m. Eastern, and we see this large passive buyer on the heat map absorb all of that aggressive selling. Then immediately after that, look at the flip of delta. As aggressive buying steps in, we see price quickly move higher here as aggressive buying immediately takes over. Then on subsequent pullbacks, look how small and weak that negative delta is relative to the delta that tried to break down that low originally. When I see this, this is one, absorption of aggressive sellers. Two, aggressive buyers flipping the tape and starting the reversal the other way. Three, weaker selling pullbacks showing smaller negative delta still getting absorbed by passive buyers. When I see this, anywhere in this zone is a high confirmation entry to take it there with a very high risk versus reward because our stop is just under that low that formed, targeting the bounce back into the middle of that range. And if we look at Bookmap Live here, you can see the surge of negative delta get absorbed by this passive buyer. Then we see the immediate response to that is aggressive buying stepping back in, driving price higher, and then subsequent pullbacks of very small delta. This is where I look to pull the trigger, take it long, put a stop under that low, and target the mean reversion back into that range back into 29,200. This is extremely asymmetric risk versus reward. Typically, once price moves in my favor and surges and shifts structure in my direction back into the range, I trail my stop loss to break even and then trail it once lows hold as price continues to make its way back into the middle of that range, back into that high volume node inside around the point of control. That trade right there is the 4 filters working exactly the way they're supposed to. Context told us the market was in balance and the mean reversion was in play. Location gave us the specific level worth watching, and confirmations showed us the passive buyers defending that extreme with real size. The entry trigger told us the exact moment the immediate trend had shifted. Not a guess, not a gut feeling, a specific signal in the order flow. $2,300 in one trade with clean execution. And here's what I want you to take away from this. Not the result, but the process. Every decision in that trade had a reason behind it. The level wasn't random, the entry wasn't random, the stop wasn't random, and the target wasn't random. Every piece of it came from the framework. That's what separates a trader that occasionally gets lucky and a trader who executes with consistency. The process. You now have 5 episodes of free education that most traders never get access to in the order flow trading space. You understand how the market works as an auction, and you can read the volume profile. You understand passive and aggressive participants. You've seen the faucet and sponge analogy on Bookmap, and you have a 4 filter framework. You've watched it applied to a real trade from start to finish. In the next episode, we're going to talk about something nobody in this space really wants to discuss honestly: how to actually break through from being an unprofitable trader to a consistently successful one. Not the theory of it, the real process. What it actually takes and what most traders get wrong along the way. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And if this series has been valuable, share it with a trader who needs to hear it. It might be exactly what changes their trajectory. I'll see you in episode 6.